This is bad.
This is bad. You should leave now. Wait, don't come back.
Don't leave. It's
I
our
love you
first
so much.
episode.
Come
Don't
back.
leave. Welcome to Whine, Whine, and Once.
A Once Upon a Time podcast.
Yeah.
Woo! Every week we are going to be watching an episode of Once, drinking. It says wine. Caveat, it's probably not going to be wine. We record on Wednesdays, and wine is for weekends. But
true. That is very true.
But we will be, it's not as alliterative to say,
It's not. Adult beverage.
Adult beverage. Water. So.
Water.
Yeah. So we will be watching an episode of Once, drinking wine or
quote unquote.
Some adult beverage, and whining a lot. Either about the show or life. Most of the show.
Mostly, yeah. And yeah, that's Whine, Whine, and Once. I'm Dee.
I'm Lo. And we have...
Oh, welcome to a bad time.
That's such a bad time. We have been friends for 10? Almost 10 years.
That's disgusting.
Oh, no.
That's disgusting.
No, it's not good. I don't like that. I'm going to take those words.
I can't wait for our 10-year celebration where we force people to just watch an entire video of our friendship. Because that's going to happen. Like I say, this joke it's not a joke. This is going to happen.
We Once Upon a Time montage.
Yes.
Like a video of our friendship.
I want a montage like how Descendants gives you a montage showing you the thing you just watched 5 minutes before.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I want the montage to end with our friends sitting down to watch the vlog.
That feels good. That feels right. But yeah, we have been friends since college.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons we are friends is this little show right here, Once Upon a Time.
Reason to be friends with someone. So it was the worst reason to have a friend.
It's not great.
But here we are.
We met and you started inviting me over to watch Once Upon a Time.
Once upon a time, I used to host weekly parties on Sundays. I would make a lot of food, have everyone over, and thought it would just be a nice little time to sit and watch the show.
It was a great time.
No, it was not. There was no sitting. It was not quiet. There was lots of standing on couches and screaming, mostly from Lo and I.
Yeah, nobody else seemed to want to scream about the show.
Yeah, see, I canceled the weekly watch parties. Really, people just stopped coming because they realized we forgot others were in the room if we were there watching it together.
So we figured, what better way than force you all to listen to us?
Exactly. Now you get to hear the things that make us angry about this show, because here's the thing. There are 2 things you have to know about us. Like, just 2.
Yeah. Number 1, this is a terrible show. I hate it. And
hate this show.
I hate every second I watch it. And the second thing is I've never loved a show more in my life. This is my favorite show.
No, like when we started watching this show when it came out, I don't think I have stopped. We have never stopped. We finish the show. We'll start up in a mid-season somewhere. We'll pick a favorite episode.
We never that Neverland occurs.
Neverland does not occur. I refuse the Neverland arc.
That's fair. Yeah. No, we watched every episode, I think, together. Pretty much, except for the first season. We weren't doing watch parties.
We didn't know each other as well then, but since then we've watched the first season probably like 4 times together, because that's the most frequent season that we will pick up and watch.
That is true. And but after that, we watched every episode together on like Hulu or something, if we couldn't make a live showing, and then we just kind of never stopped, which is not real great, but...
No, it says a lot about our mental stability and where we are in life. But yeah, so this is our podcast. So don't come here expecting us to talk about how great the show is or the consistencies in the plot or how they're building to something. No, no, no. That's not what
No.
we do here.
No. We will recognize what they do well and right.
And they do some stuff well. They really do.
Especially in this first and second seasons. Ooh, good
So
show.
good.
And then we will recognize that perhaps there might be some flaws in the show.
Just a few thousand.
Just a few. But I have to put my foot down and recognize my favorite hour of television I think I've ever watched, including all of the shows that have been true favorites and that I think are so well put together. My favorite hour of television is the Cruella de Vil episode.
My God.
It is, I think it's perfect.
Truly one of the best episodes of this show.
Of any show. Really.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite episode?
I think I always get the name. I think is it Shattered Glass? Is that the name of the episode?
Yeah, the one.
It's in the Frozen arc, which isn't even my favorite arc, but everyone becomes the worst version of themselves, and it's beautiful.
It's delightful.
I have no notes on that episode. They can do whatever they want with that episode. It's perfect. Flawless.
That is fair. That's fair. All right. Well,
yeah. What are we doing in this podcast? Let's.
Oh, you're asking me rhetorically.
No. Yeah. Well, I'm asking because I don't know what we're doing ever.
That's fair.
Like, that runs with the assumption that we have plans in life.
So, like we said, we're gonna rewatch our episodes, but we also have a couple of things that we would like to start, paying attention to. I would really, really like to build up a full and complete family tree.
I'm going to hate this family tree so much immediately. Like by episode 4, I'm going to hate this monstrosity.
I can't wait. It's going to be so tangled.
It's so incestuous. I don't think the writers actively sat there and thought like, yes, this. I think they just had a dartboard of characters they would just throw and be like, all right, that's the child now. These two are related.
And a roulette wheel for plot points.
Yes.
It was just a casino in the writer's room.
Sounds like a great time.
Listen. So I would like to build up our very tangled family tree, and then to go along with our little tangled plant theme family tree. We also would like to keep track of our romances, which I'm trying to find a way of saying it politely, but there is no
polite way to say this.
We decided to call it the fuck fern.
I'm sorry, you have a family tree, you got a fuck fern, it makes sense.
Right, so that's just our way of keeping track of the romances and any moments that couples that seem like they might have been earmarked for romance at a certain point. And just finding out about that.
Exactly. Do a little bit of digging there, for better or for worse. I will be paying close attention to the magic bean situation, which doesn't come up for a while, but
you know how mad the beans make me.
It's infuriating. Do you know how many times they say, yes, the last magic bean?
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's too many times for them all to be the last magic bean.
Exactly. I just want to figure out how many times, as a plot point, we have said, there is none left.
I think that's an excellent quest.
Thank you. And the other thing that I really need to shed some light on and give some attention to is the lovely Emma Swan and her superpower. The one that she mentions right off the bat and says that she can tell when anyone is lying. Yeah, I think that thing is broken and is only there for plot purposes. So I'm going to be figuring out just how it works. How many times does it fail? When does it succeed?
We're going to have a batting average by the end of this.
Oh, we will. And then last but not least, perhaps the most important, how many dark curses are there? And we're not talking sleeping curses or tiny. No. This is town-wide curses because there seems to be a lot of them. Like we hear the words dark curse and final curse a lot.
A lot. Yeah,
So
a lot.
We'll be going episode through episode trying to get to the bottom of all of those and more. It's going to be terrible.
Welcome to a bad time.
Oh, it's a bad time.
Welcome to Whine, Whine, and Ones, everyone.
Oh, man. Get your beverage. What are you drinking?
I just have a nice little beer here. Just
nice.
A lager. And you've got?
I think this is the last of the seltzers that you left in my fridge. I think this might be the last one. There might still be one more. Not sure.
I think it's important to note that all of the seltzers I left were grapefruit.
No, there were 2 lone raspberries, which I don't know if you intentionally left.
I didn't. No, I took what I wanted.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I don't particularly like the raspberries. I'll drink, but
that's fair.
The grapefruit needs to stay behind. I hate the grapefruit.
Thankfully, I like grapefruit. This is the real reason why we're friends. So our seltzers are compatible. Whatever I don't like, I give to you,
and whatever you don't like gets carted down to see you.
Exactly. So what's happening this week that's making you drink a beer? What?
First week of school prep.
Well, I hate that sentence. That's terrible.
I'm excited to, get back into the swing of things, but getting prepped for everything is a lot of work. So we're just
that's a well-earned beer.
Having a beer. And what's going on with you?
What's going on with me? Well, I made the poor choice of not giving myself any downtime this week. So I think this is just my body. I'm using this as my downtime, which is not a good thing. We're recording a podcast. My brain is like, oh no, we're shutting down. So this is going to get really interesting.
I can't wait. It's always interesting. May's faces get swirly.
That's the best place to be. And if it weren't a Wednesday, I would be.
If we weren't recording a podcast.
I mean, no. Let's be clear. Next time we're in person and get to record together, that will happen.
Can't wait. Yeah. So should we jump on it?
Oh, let's do it. Get your drink. Get your snacks.
Get comfy.
Get ready to whine and once.
And once. So starting out, let's just take a little peek at the Disney Plus summary. Mostly because it's just very interesting what they choose to focus on. They definitely seem focused on some very strange parts of the episode. So this very first episode, which of course is the first episode if you are a new viewer you're going to click on. And so we're trying to sell the show. It says, Emma's life turns upside down when she is visited by Henry, the 10-year-old child she long ago gave up for adoption. Brings Henry back to his foster mother in a strange town called...
Foster?
Yeah. Foster.
Oh, I hate that.
That's incorrect. Regina did adopt Henry, but in a strange town called Storybrooke. And as you might have noticed, you mentioned fairy tales there.
Missing some things.
Well, and I recognize this thing needs to be short, but
sure.
We did kind of leave out, I don't know, half the episode.
Yeah, just a hair. Just a bit.
So
interesting.
Well,
that's absolutely not helpful at all to know what happens in the show.
So how about you take us through
a
recap?
Perfect. So yeah, I will go through the full recap. So we understand not everyone wants to watch this show. Sometimes we don't even want to watch this show. So we've watched it for you and we'll let you know everything that has happened and will happen. This is a spoiler-free zone, so buckle up and let's
It's not a spoiler-free zone.
I can't talk.
That's fine. You've got a lot of
This
reasons.
is not a spoiler-free zone, you know?
No, that
We
is
talk
really
about
important to
everything.
note.
Yes.
And we will mention things with hindsight. So
Yes.
that means this is spoiler free or not spoiler free for the entire show. By all means, feel free to watch the episodes before and come back. Or if you're like me and a lot of the times don't particularly care about getting spoiled, feel free to just listen. We will take you through the whole episode, and so you'll know what's going on.
It will be a bumpy ride. It's not going to be great. So, Season 1, Episode 1, title, Pilot. The episode starts with a black screen and a lot of text. Like Star Wars, but less visually pleasing. And explaining the Enchanted Forest, a place where all the characters that we know, or think we know, live. One day they were all trapped in a world with no happy endings. Our world, and really that's just the most accurate thing I've ever heard. Our world does not have any happy endings.
Welcome to 2021.
I hate it here. So first things first, we cut to Charming riding on in a majestic red cape and a dashing steed. And what is probably the most Charming-esque moment you will ever see. He makes it to a large clearing covered in, you guessed it, snow. And he demands the 7 dwarfs open the casket, despite the fact that they assure him it's too late, she's dead, move on. But death means nothing to a Charming, and he insists on kissing her as a way to say goodbye. We do not kink shame in the Enchanted Forest, so the dwarves just let this happen. So immediately, we don't kink shame. We just let.
Fair. We don't. They can look a little side eyes, though.
That's fair. Yeah. So they kiss, and immediately a wave of magic, true love kiss energy sweeps outward, and the woman, who we now know as Snow White, awakens. And then Charming says about the most iconic Charmingism that we will grow to hate, I will always find you.
So many times.
So many. And apparently this is
situations.
It's upsetting. We almost need to keep track of how many times, but we would get to 3 million.
Yeah.
Too many times.
There's not enough paper in the world.
No. So apparently this is a very long kiss, because as the camera pulls back, it's their wedding day. So there's, the cheering, the well wishes, and an assortment of truly heinous wardrobe choices.
Well, I just need to pause. I need to pause here, and we're going to come back to this. But why does hair and wardrobe hate Jennifer Goodwin?
I don't know.
What did she do?
There has to be a reason.
Other people are not great, but her look is
especially bad.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So, it's a wedding, and then, oh no, the evil queen bursts through the room in a very Maleficent-esque moment. So she ruins the wedding day, and she informs the Charmings that she has a gift for them as well. Again, very Maleficent of her.
Holy.
So she makes this vow that soon everything that everyone in their world loves will be ripped away from them, and her victory will arise from their suffering. So she promises to destroy their happiness if it's the last thing she does. And, she swoops her cape and goes to make her exit.
Does before some bad green screen walking.
Oh, it's really bad. But at least she knows how to use her cape really well, and she does love to use a cape. So she goes to walk out the doors, but before she completely leaves, Charming, being ever so stealthy and sure of his choices, yells, "Hey!" and grabs his sword and flings it at her, just yeets it across the room. Shocking no one, the loud "hey" alerted her to what was happening, and she escapes before he tries to kill her.
Special muffin.
Probably don't yell "hey" if you're trying to go for the stealth move.
He just wanted to see her face one last time. I'm trying to come up with a reason, and it's not there.
It's not there. My favorite is they keep coming back to the scene as like an iconic moment. It just makes Charming look so pretty.
He's so pretty.
He is really pretty. My God. So that's where we leave the Enchanted Forest. So now we fast forward to the real world. So we see a little boy is reading a storybook on a bus going to Boston. Then he pays for a taxi with a credit card that is clearly not his, and no one finds this odd. Just let the child hop in the cab. Come on, kiddo.
Why not?
Nothing to worry about there. We move over to a very fancy restaurant. A guy named Ryan is on a blind date with a blonde woman, and I will go more into this later, but the blonde woman is Emma, and she will never be more iconic than she is in this one scene. So
She is
it's
pretty
just a beautiful
awesome.
moment. It's a beautiful moment. But yeah, so she sits down at this table, introduces herself, and reveals it's her birthday, but that she has no family, so she's spending her birthday with him, a complete stranger. She then drops the facade of a blind date and reveals to him that she knows that he embezzled money from his company and left his wife and children. Surprise! She's a bail bonds person. Ryan, being of sound mind, flips the table and starts running. Emma, she saunters after him. She is in no rush. She's unbothered. She's actually just annoyed that he spilled wine on her dress, honestly.
Which is fair. It
That
looks
is
like
fair.
a fairly pricey dress.
Seriously, which is interesting considering what we know about her background and how, by all accounts, she should not be very wealthy.
True.
But
Girls
good
work.
on her.
Girl boss.
Yeah, she's 28 and she has more money than I have, and I'm almost 30. Oh, I hate this. So you know, she barely is walking at a snail's pace, still meets up with Ryan before he's able to get away because she put a boot on his car, so he's not going anywhere. We're never going to see her this badass again. Like, she just calls him out, tells Ryan to give any money he's got to his family, and he asks, "Oh, what do you know about family?" Then she stares at him and says nothing and knocks his head against the steering wheel.
Beautiful.
It is. It's a good moment for her.
I mean, such a truly 2011 feminist moment.
Yes.
Like, I don't know that 2021 that would be how we would be showing it, but that is the 2011 version of, like, this chick is badass.
Yes.
So
it's so good.
Good moment.
But the badassery stops almost immediately. She goes home and lights one sad, lonely candle on one sad, lonely cupcake.
A cake like any self-respecting adult would do.
Get a full cake.
You have grown-up money. You have grown-up money. Get yourself a grown-up cake.
Get yourself a bottle of wine and a bottle of cheesecake. Yes, that's what I said. And a full cheesecake. And you eat both and feel bad about yourself, but know that you made that adult choice anyway.
Damn adult.
Exactly. Have some respect, Emma.
Come on. God. Learn to self-loathe a little better.
Truly. But yeah, she blows the candle out, and then suddenly there's a knock on the door. And it's the boy from earlier, Henry. And he knows her by name and also reveals that he's her son and that she gave him up for adoption. All this really upsetting stuff that no small child should know about a perfectly good stranger.
True.
So naturally, Emma leaves the child alone to run to the bathroom and process, which, fair. Totally. Who among us has not run to a bathroom just to be alone and process? But she comes out, and the little monster has gone into her fridge and is drinking the juice out of the bottle. And that just tells you a lot about Henry as a person.
Oh, my God. He has gone into this strange woman's refrigerator. He has emerged with a bottle, but he has emerged with the bottle of orange juice.
It's also unlabeled. It could be like a pre-made mimosa. I was just
gonna say, it could be a mimosa. I would not judge.
No judgment.
A girl for having just some mimosas set aside and ready to go, but also he drinks it from,
disgusting.
She has to throw it all away now. You put your grimy little mouth on it.
Henry is a menace to society.
I agree. Listen, I know it's not fair. I know he is 10 years old and he is a child.
No.
I don't like Henry. I think he's not written in a way that's super likable a lot of the time.
Yeah.
They don't give him a lot of stuff that makes him particularly likable. I feel like they kind of lean a lot on the fact that at 10, Jared Gilmore was very cute.
He was. I'll give him that. A little sticky outy ears.
Yeah. And then, they never stopped leaning on that fact, except he got older and became
teenage boy.
Yeah. So, anyway, please continue
Oh,
now
no,
that I have properly processed that
that's
deeply
fair.
upsetting bottle drinking.
It's not good. So anyway, the little monster has the audacity to ask Emma to take him back to his hometown with her, and she says, absolutely not. I'm going to call the police.
Fair.
And so he bullies her and says, I'll just say you kidnapped me. So Emma gets kind of close to him and eye level with him and says, you know what? I've got a superpower. I can tell when people are lying, and you're lying. And so Henry's just like, oh, fair enough. He just accepts this at face value.
I feel like I just would like to physically insert that gif of Thor. Like, is it though? Because
Truly,
is it a superpower?
it's not. It's not.
It's
I think
non-functional. We've
I think
talked
by the-
about it, but
it gets worse. Like there's like a
Yeah.
full season where it's not even mentioned, and then suddenly it's my superpower. Since when, ma'am? Since when?
ma'am, this is Wendy's.
It's a lot.
It is.
So Henry's like, fine, fair enough. You have the superpower. I just need you to go back to Storybrooke. So then, because Whiplash is fun, we're gonna go right back to the Enchanted Forest, where Snow is processing everything that happened at the wedding, and she's been contemplating for a long time because she's now pregnant.
Of course, moving warp speed through this relationship.
We really are. You know, their coffin kiss led to the wedding, and now contemplation leads to pregnancy. Always use
what
protection.
Catholic school taught me.
Listen.
Uh,
So yeah, she's standing in the window, contemplating her own mortality, I have to assume, after what her stepmother vowed.
fair enough.
So Charming tries to comfort her and says, you know, they're only words, don't worry about it. Snow quickly quips back the queen poisoned her because she thought that Snow was prettier than her, and boldly requests to go see him, which we don't know who him is. We just know it's a prisoner that can see the future. It's a very vague request that she is making, that she says, you know, this will make me feel better. Husband, we gotta go do this.
I mean, your pregnant wife asks to see
That's fair.
clairvoyant. I guess you go do it.
That's what you do. So back to our two real world heroes. Emma and Henry are driving, and Henry continues to be a monster and is asking about snacks and trying to make this, you know, a fun road trip. And he pulls out his storybook and starts flipping through the pages. And he insists, you know, everything in this is true. And Emma says, LOL, no, it's not. And he stares at her. This child stares at her and says, use your superpower. And she looks at him and her eyes widen like, he's telling the truth. But then she, you know, has an adult thought and realizes, just because you believe something is true doesn't make it factually correct. And Henry says, nah. That's exactly what makes things real. And that he has problems that Emma is going to fix for him.
I just want to point out, things are true, whether or not you believe them. And
listen to science. We love science.
Science is great. That's all I'm going to say. Science is great. Listen to scientists. Thank you.
Hooray! So back in the Enchanted Forest, the Charmings have arrived to see him, who we've now learned is Rumpelstiltskin, or I should say Rumpelstiltskin.
Because his little lip trill.
It's so good. Robert Carlyle is having more fun than anyone on the show, except for maybe Lana Parrilla. Maybe.
But they are the only two who seem to, like, truly enjoy themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
For pretty much the entire run.
Oh, 10 out of 10, yes. So the Charmings approach the cell, and Rumpelstiltskin is literally hanging from the ceiling, which is never a good sign.
It's like a little monkey. He, like, uncurls. It's wonderful.
We've seen this episode at least a dozen times, and I've never noticed that.
I've never noticed that he just, like, uncurls from the ceiling.
First of all, I feel like the jailer would be like, hey, cut that out. But also, the jail's pretty useless because he can, like, shove half his body through it anyhow, so what do they care?
You're like, maybe he'll fall and get impaled on a spike or something.
I mean, it would make things a lot easier.
True.
So the Charmings, you know, are being all discreet. They have their faces covered and are wearing cloaks so that no one knows who they are. And Rumpelstiltskin's like, nah, I know who you are. That's a pointless gimmick. You know, no use disguising yourself. That's just as bad as wearing baseball hats and sunglasses in Marvel films. Like, everyone knows who you are. You're not hiding yourself.
Ahem. Stephen.
Uh-huh.
We love him, though.
We do.
Also, I just want to point out, he can see the future. He knows you're here.
That's
He
the
knows
literal
you're coming.
reason that they are going to see him is for his ability to see into the future. But we still gotta protect our identities just in case he's not that good at telling the future, I guess.
Listen,
Charming logic.
Share one brain cell?
Yes,
Later they will share one heart. Now they share one brain cell.
Fuck, I hate you. That's terrible.
I'm delighted.
Oh no. But yeah, no shock. The man who can tell the future is like, yeah, it's you. And, I can tell you what's going to happen, but it's going to cost you. Because with Rumpelstiltskin, everything comes with a price.
Sure.
So Prince Charming immediately refuses because he does not trust Rumple at all, which he should not. But Snow insists and asks what the price is. Rumpelstiltskin asks for the name of their child, and Snow agrees without any consultation with her husband. No hesitation. She's like, absolutely yes, I'll give you whatever you need. Good parenting. But Rumpelstiltskin tells them that they will all be imprisoned somewhere horrible where everything they love will be ripped from them. And so Snow obviously says, oh my god, what are we supposed to do then? And so Rumple reveals that her unborn child is their only hope. If they can get this child to safety, they will be saved. On this child's 28th birthday, she will find them, and the final battle will begin, which is a very ominous prophecy to make.
True. Anything involving the words final battle.
It's not good.
No.
Don't like that. But Snow and Charming walk away, content with this information, but Rumple calls after them angrily, demanding the name of the baby as promised. And Charming, in a moment of genius, is like, oh, we should just lie.
He has the brain cell.
Well, it's true. He does have the one brain cell. So he's like, we'll just not do that. So he turns around and says, it's a son. Like, fuck off. I'm not going to answer. Rumple is persistent because he can tell the future and knows it's a girl, but not enough to know the name of the daughter.
Excellent point. Yeah, there wasn't, any caveat in there that, the name has to be willfully given or something, right?
They didn't even have a lame attempt at oh, I don't know it unless you say it, dearie. Nope. He's just not very good at telling the future, I guess. And we just let this happen.
That's fair.
The
evidence all does point to this.
It does. But Snow, even though she sees her husband, trying to protect their child, decides it's a good idea just to say, yeah, our daughter's name is Emma. And then they keep it as Emma. They don't decide to change the name to, Sarah or any other name.
This is a Mother Gothel situation. Tell the girl her birthday is one day different. Give her a completely made up birthday.
Right.
You can change things. It's a baby.
It is. They're not sold on their name, yet they don't know what a name is. They're still in your womb. So Emma and Henry finally arrive in Storybrooke, and the town clock is frozen. Henry says it's because the evil queen cursed the town and time has been stopped. So they get out of the car. They immediately run into Archie Hopper, the world's worst therapist.
I have so much to say about Archie Hopper.
Do.
And I'm vibrating with the intensity of how angry I am.
It's terrible, but good news. He has a dog named Pongo.
I do love Pongo.
Pongo's great. So Archie, in front of this complete stranger that he's never met, reveals that Henry missed his session and that tells Emma that Henry is the mayor's kid. And then he goes on with his evening walk with Pongo because he doesn't have time to worry about a child.
Sure.
So Henry turns to Emma and goes, oh, Archie is Jiminy Cricket, but doesn't know it because no one in the town knows who they are. And Emma just goes along with this because what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I guess.
So again, more whiplash, back to the forest. With the news gleaned from the jail cell, Prince Charming meets with the council and insists that they need to fight. They need to save their kingdom. And Jiminy Cricket, who we just learned was actually Archie in Storybrooke, warns that fighting would mean giving into one's dark side. So remember, kids, to be good, you just have to take whatever crap is thrown at you.
Excellent life lesson.
Good life lessons from Once Upon a Time.
I think this is important and Phil, you should write it down.
Yes, absolutely write this down. Cite it. Maybe get a tattoo of it even. You don't want to forget this.
I went on a retreat when I was in high school, and it was like this week-long retreat, and the leaders had to give a talk, kind of like explaining their life and like what the moral of their lessons were. And like, it was a great retreat, actually.
Sure.
Of all the things I remember about a very interesting high school, that was one of my true favorite experiences. But every time they spoke, that you were supposed to have your notebook out. And
Oh.
whenever they were about to say something that they thought was like that you needed to write down because it was important, they would say, "I feel this is important and think you should write it down."
I love it.
And now that's my punctuation for anything that feels like it's important.
You're going to want to write this down.
Write it down.
I feel like you should.
Yeah, so remember, just to be good, don't fight.
Nope.
Ever.
Never.
Not ever.
Turn the other cheek, Great advice from Once Upon a Time. So, Archie, or Jiminy Cricket, throws down this wisdom, and Snow, full of doom and gloom, says there's nothing they can do because the future is ordained. And then Charming is like, no, we literally just learned that our daughter is going to save us. Remember, like 10 minutes ago. So
Snow's
we can do things. So it's again, she does not have the brain cell right now. Oh, it's true. So enter the Blue Fairy, aka the true villain of this show.
She is evil.
She is pure evil. There's not enough evidence at this point in time, but just you're gonna want to write that.
I feel this is important and think you should write it down. The Blue Fairy is evil.
And once you start seeing it, you notice it everywhere. She is a shady bitch.
She really is.
And she does not move her feet, which I don't trust.
Move your feet when you fly. Move your feet when you fly. It's upsetting.
I mean, she also looks like a jellyfish, so it could just be she's upset about that.
Why does costuming the Blue Fairy do?
She's evil. They're trying to tell us early on, hey, there's something here, and it's not good.
There's something going on. So, what does the Blue Fairy have to say?
She arrives with her squad of soldiers bearing a giant tree and says, hey, this tree can be used to ward off any curse. Seems like a thing we should have known a long time ago, but convenient. So she asks Geppetto, our good wood-carving friend, if he can assist in the work, and he agrees. But the Blue Fairy warns that the tree can only protect one. Just one. And that is a lie. That is a
I feel this
lie.
is important and think you should write it down.
It's for it'll come up in another episode, but this is just not factual information.
Nope. She
not
says
at all.
one. She says one.
Yep. So back to Storybrooke. Henry does not want to go home because his adopted mother is evil and pretends to love him, according to the 10-year-old.
Sure.
But Emma takes him home anyway. And Regina Mills, Henry's mom, emerges from the house and hugs him. How evil of her, the audacity.
How dare she?
And, Graham the sheriff is there, step-daddying the child.
What is he... Like, I know he's there because Henry is missing.
No, he's there because he's fucking the mayor. Call it what it is.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But
No.
Also, I feel it's important and think you should write it down. Graham, the Sheriff Graham, is played by Jamie Dornan, who was Christian Grey in the films of 50 Shades of Grey. I've seen none of these movies, but and read none of these books.
No, none. It does not stop us from making jokes anytime there's anything mildly sexual about his presence.
That is fair. And it's often.
Very often. For as little as he's in the show, there's a lot.
Truly. So Henry runs inside, right? And
yep, and he's
Graham's all like,
I'll put him to bed. It's fine. I'll go check on him.
Her stepdad.
Exactly. And Regina invites Emma in for apple cider, but she says, no, I would like something stronger. Same.
Fair. I also would like something stronger. Right now.
Yes, please. So the women, they talk about Henry and the adoption. We get confirmation this is not a foster mother situation. It is an adoption. A closed adoption at that. Emma assures Regina she has nothing to worry about. She's not here to step on toes. She just was dropping Henry off. So, they have this nice heart-to-heart moment. And then Emma mentions, well, maybe he thinks you're evil because of the fairy tale thing. And Regina denies knowing anything about it, but presses Emma to leave, which she does. And on her way out of town, because she decides, you know what, I'm getting the hell out of here. This place is weird. She swerves her car to avoid a rogue wolf that appears out of nowhere and crashes into the town sign.
Oh no.
Oh no. Back to the Enchanted Forest.
Of course. We can't stay in one spot.
This one's a lot, guys. I promise, they're not always... This is an expository episode.
I think
so much exposition.
I think we should all take a moment and just appreciate the fact that Dia's in charge of reading this episode.
It's worth it. No, I think we should all take a moment to drink. Is what I think.
Everybody take a sip of whatever it is. Hydrate if you're drinking water. Have an adult beverage. Have a soda. Take a drink.
Hydrate or dihydrate?
No.
That's fair. I probably deserve it. All right. Okay, we're all more hydrated.
Yes.
So, Geppetto and his son Pinocchio are hard at work doing their thing because child labor is fun.
Sure.
So the magic wardrobe is coming together. Back in their chambers, Snow insists that she simply cannot leave Charming. I don't want to leave you, but her husband reminds her that 28 years is nothing next to an eternity of love. Sir, you probably won't live over 50. 28 years is in fact your lifespan. I don't know what to tell you. I think your wife is correct here.
It's a lot.
So, they come in for a sweet embrace, and Snow realizes the baby is coming right then and there in what must be the speediest labor ever. And on the battlements, the dwarves are standing guard and notice that purple and green smoke is approaching, which, as Disney has taught us, those are the universal colors of evil. The curse is upon them, so Grumpy sounds the alarm. Meanwhile, in Storybrooke, Emma wakes up in a jail cell. Great medical attention, guys. She's crashed into a sign. She is knocked unconscious and wakes up in a jail cell.
Right? Did we not check her for...
No, we don't do that here. Nope.
I don't know.
Check just anything. Hope for the best.
Broken bones? No.
Nope.
No. She crashed into a sign and therefore must have been drunk, and therefore we must put her in jail.
Exactly. And
you know what this tells me?
What does it tell you?
We haven't built our hospital set yet.
That's, it was the pilot. What do we expect from them?
That's true. You don't want to build a hospital set until you have to build a hospital set.
This is true. So, Emma wakes up and Leroy is still next to her being all grumpy because he is in fact grumpy. And Marco, who's actually Geppetto, tells him not to give her grief and then overshares a lot about how he and his wife always wanted a child but can never have one, and it's a lot.
You know how you trauma dump on a stranger?
Listen, that happens a lot in this show.
Truly.
Alright, so Sheriff Graham comes in to let Leroy out and suggests that Emma was drunk driving, implying that Regina's drinks are strong. Regina shows up and is surprised to see Emma. And oh no, Henry's missing again. Seriously, we need to get this kid a leash. And Emma offers to help find him, and for whatever reason, they're like, sure, fair enough. You're his mother that we don't want to be here. Why don't you help us?
Of course.
Naturally. They go to Henry's bedroom where Emma finds evidence on his computer that Henry made a charge to whoisyourmama.com.
Which sounds like a very different website.
We are to believe that it is a DNA website or a family tree of some sort. What they're telling us it is and what it sounds like are very different things. It's not good.
I feel like if he had typed something wrong in, he would have ended up on a very different site.
Oh, yeah. It's not great.
No.
But they find out he not only went on this website, but he used his teacher's credit card.
Sure.
Because why not? So off Emma and Regina go to Henry's school to talk to Mary Margaret Blanchard, a.k.a. Snow White. Side note, they're building birdhouses and she's got a bird in the classroom.
Why is the bird uncaged in the classroom?
This
also,
whole
it's
show
a
is
wild
uncaged.
bird. She releases it.
I've got nothing. There are no rules. There is no logic. We're
upset.
one episode in and they're already just like, fuck it.
I don't know. There's a bird. Why
exactly.
not?
I hate it. So, Mary Margaret claims that she knew nothing and Henry stole her credit card, and she reveals that she gave Henry the storybook, which angers Regina. She storms off and knocks a bunch of binders off, so Emma goes to help, and they have a very deep conversation about the fundamental issues of loneliness that a child of adoption faces. This is all Mary Margaret, just
so inappropriate.
So awful. Then she kind of looks over at Emma and goes, "Oh my gosh, I didn't mean it like that." It's like, well, you did. I don't know what to tell you, but you did mean it like that.
No, you clearly, very clearly meant it like that.
Uh-huh. Yikes. So then Mary Margaret says, "You know what? I bet Henry's at his castle. You should go check there."
He has a castle.
Yes. I want nothing more than a Julie Andrews moment inserted into the show. And that is the one moment I would put it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because what the fuck? He has a castle?
Why not? Why not? This kid is already so goddamn weird.
He is so goddamn weird and annoying. Let's see. So in the Enchanted Forest, back to this nonsense. Thanks to poor timing, Snow is literally about to birth out a child and the wardrobe is only now completed. So they did not have a project manager on that situation.
Very quickly, I just would like to point out.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we putting her near the wardrobe while they're working on it?
You know,
if you know that the baby is coming,
mm-hmm.
and you know that the wardrobe is almost ready.
Sure.
Why would you not put her near the wardrobe so that the second the wardrobe is ready, she can stumble her in labor butt into the wardrobe? I recognize that is a terrible, awful thing to do to a woman in labor. But clearly that was the plan all along, so...
Right? Like, clearly that was the situation, because we've agreed one person can go in the wardrobe.
I'm gonna need to earmark that, because I do need to come back to the Geppetto side of things.
That's fair.
In another
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
So, the wardrobe is done, and Charming's like, fantastic, let's get this show on the road, and Doc says, oh no, too late. Baby's coming, she's gotta stay here. So we then cut over to the forest, where the evil queen and her regime of knights are riding towards the castle, and there's no purpose for this shot other than, look at Regina, she's fabulous. She's on her way, look at her go.
And thank you for that.
Exactly. No notes. 10 out of 10. So Snow gives birth to a girl, and it seems she and Charming forget about the impending doom to share several sweet moments. They then suddenly remember, oh right, there's a curse, and the fact that, oh no, the wardrobe can only hold one person, and now there are two people where there was once one. They hear the guards, and math, guys. Someone should have thought this through.
Just a thought.
They hear the guards invade the castle, and Charming is convinced it's too late. But Snow, never one to accept defeat, except for all the times that she has accepted defeat, insists that Charming take the newborn baby and send the infant off in the wardrobe alone and hope that she will indeed one day come back for them.
Sure.
She says goodbye to baby and husband in a very tearful farewell. So Charming is already nailing fatherhood 101 as he carries the infant and sword fights his way through guards to get to the wardrobe.
We didn't put the baby near the wardrobe.
No, never. He's an absolute mess, but manages to keep the baby nice and clean and blood-free. Good work, buddy. He places Emma in the wardrobe. The guards show up and they thrust open the wardrobe. And just as Charming is about to lose consciousness, he sees that his daughter has indeed escaped to safety and is no longer in the wardrobe. Back to Henry and his castle, Emma finds Henry at a rundown playground. The castle, allegedly. And Henry admits that he thought bringing her to Storybrooke would mean the final battle would begin and the curse would be broken. Emma then proceeds to trauma dump on the poor kid. Her life is so much worse than his because her parents just left her on the side of the road.
You know, a trauma jump on a child.
She literally says, I have it worse than you. And starts crying to him. And it says, I only wanted you to have your best chance. And Henry swears she was sent through the wardrobe and ended up on the road. Emma obviously doesn't believe him because that's banana pants. So now Snow White finds Prince Charming and she's, basically crawling because she just had a baby and life's hard. She finds him practically dead on the ground and does what any well-adjusted human would do and kisses him on the lips. Again, we don't kink shame, especially not when it comes to the Charmings. The evil queen enters and says that in a few minutes, Snow White will remember nothing. She's won. Ha ha ha, I did it. But then the queen's knights tell her, hey, the baby's gone. And Snow White smiles and says, you're going to lose. Good will always win. But Regina doesn't seem too bothered. The evil queen just laughs as the roof shatters and a vast vortex sucks everything up in a cloud of magic and shattered glass. The queen announces that they're going to somewhere absolutely horrible, where the only happy ending will be hers. Emma and Henry go back to Regina's, and Emma has a weird little monologue about wishing not to be alone on her birthday. Then voila, there was Henry. And Reggie Baby rightfully reminds Emma that she asked for a closed adoption and that she has no right to be here and leave town or be destroyed, which is a weird way to get someone to leave. That is not an appropriate way to get someone to leave. That raises suspicions.
Yeah.
So Emma blurts out a question and asks, hey, do you love him? And Regina says yes and goes inside. Emma clearly does not believe her. What a great superpower she has.
Nah.
We see Mary Margaret volunteering at the hospital. Where does she find all this time? And she puts a flower on the bedside table of John Doe, a man in a coma. We know later his name is David. Right now it's just John Doe. It's also charming. Oh my gosh.
I just want to point out, and thank you to whoever wrote the wiki for pointing it out. The walls of his room are glass, like the coffin. And it's so dumb.
Upset.
It's so dumb, but also, kudos. That's actually kind of clever. Whatever.
Oh, so again, fine. Credit where credit is due, I guess.
It's a nice little, it's funny because he's also trapped inside a glass box.
It's fun because...
symbolism.
The charm, yeah. Uh-huh. So, even though Emma claims that she was going to leave, she doesn't. She gets a room at Granny's bed and breakfast. And Ruby and Granny are just like, what? Oh my gosh, we have a guest. And they're just immediately wonderful characters. I have no notes for either of them.
I have one note, and that is that I would like them to launch into Be Our Guest.
Absolutely, yes.
But the Descendants version.
That's the only version that exists. I don't know what you're talking about. So Emma checks in, and then suddenly a strange man appears behind her as she rents out her room. Granny hands him a wad of cash, and this man comments on Emma's lovely name and leaves. Granny explains that that's Mr. Gold and that he owns the entire town. Mr. Gold is also Rumpelstiltskin. Great, he's the hero too. Everyone's here. It's a party. So Emma gets her key and goes in to find her room. And at that exact moment, the clock ticks. And Henry sees this with his Terminator vision because he's all the way in his bedroom and the clock is dead center of town. How he sees the clock move, beyond me. But hey, it happened. And that's the first episode.
Oh, well done. Oh my god, I swear the episodes aren't not usually timing-wise, they're that long.
Usually,
summary-wise...
nothing happens usually in these episodes.
Summary-wise, I don't think it's
never.
Like,
this one's a doozy.
5 pages. To be fair to the episode, they have to do a lot. They have a high concept to explain to us. They have a lot of characters to get us familiar with.
Yeah.
They've got a lot to do.
Well, and Adam Horowitz and Edward Kitsis, they do a lot of high concept. I feel like the first episode of Lost is very similar is what I'm getting at. Like, a lot happens in an episode, and then, one big thing will happen in each episode. That's like, wow, what's that?
Yeah, that's fair. It's a lot.
It is.
And usually these episodes, yeah, like you said, there'll be, 1 or 2, really big moments, and everything else is kind of filler a lot of the time, so...
But yeah, I guess for a pilot, you have to pack it all in, but my God.
My God. Take a drink, because I've gotten to sit back and relax. So
it's happening. Like this, like my entire drink is still here. Like we're gonna see how quickly I can drink this. It'll be fun for everyone.
Oh, it'll be super fun. So, first of all, I would like to bring up one point, and I've already mentioned it, but why does hair and makeup just hate Jennifer Goodwin?
What did she do on set that
she seems like a lovely person?
does?
So I'm confused.
You know who else thought she was a lovely person? Josh Dallas.
Shut up. No.
You guys ever think about the fact that they met on set and fell in love on set and left their respective partners on set and then are now married with many children? Because I think about it a lot.
You know what? Fine. It's a little better when we get to Storybrooke, but that's because we've got Jennifer Goodwin's actual hair involved.
Yeah, there's no like poodle updo situation. Like we'll post a picture of this. Like it's not her first wedding look. It's not great.
The wedding look. I mean, none of her looks are awesome, but the wedding look in particular is, I mean, peak 2011 with the feathers.
I still want to do feathering. I never fell on the feathering trend in college, and I kind of regret it.
I know. I wish I had gotten my hair feathered. And then the hair is what really throws me. Like, except for the wedding dress, her nightgown outfitty things are fine. They're fine. They're kind of just there. But in her first scene, clearly we were having issues fighting with our wig.
Sure.
In the wedding scene, I don't know what died on her head, but something died on her head.
We should be concerned.
I am concerned. And then the thing that like really upsets me is the scene where they are contemplating the future. And like getting ready to go see Rumpelstiltskin.
Sure.
I think visually they were trying to give us some like through line by keeping her dress similar and keeping her hair kind of similar because it looks like her wedding hair.
Not up.
But like someone has like really dug in with their fingers.
The Charmings. We don't kink shame.
No, I'm not kink shaming the Charmings. They can have all the sex they want. But here's my problem. Because that hair looks like it's meant to be her hair from the wedding fallen down, kind of. It's got the flowers. It's real messy for something that's on television. If it's meant to be, like, styled at all. But it looks like it's her wedding hair. But she's, like, 5-6 months pregnant.
Oh, no. Like, it's a weird transition. It's like her coffin dress with her wedding hair.
Yeah. I don't...
It's a bizarre choice.
Like it. And I just... Everyone else in the episode... Like, Charming's not great, but everybody else seems to be outfitted pretty well. Everybody else, all of the other women, aside from the Blue Fairy, look awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely agreed. So, when you think of Snow, then what is the, like, iconic look that comes to mind? Because it's certainly not the stupid wedding outfit, but, like, there are some decent moments. So, what one is the look
Definitely
for you?
Bandit Snow.
Okay, yeah.
I think Bandit Snow. If we're picking one,
it's so good. Which is weird to me that like the Disney Plus banner is a purple dress. I swear to God, I've never seen her wear.
Like, does she maybe in like one of the ball scenes?
Maybe
that we pop into every once in a while.
There's a lot of them.
I don't know. There are. Okay, so what about Regina?
Oh, okay.
Like. A lot of choices there.
Hers is the exception where it might be her like entry outfit for me. That is the one that comes. It's the lace headpiece.
It's the lace headpiece.
It's such a good
I think because they call it back a lot.
They do.
She does wear a lot of like headpieces.
And I think it's
and high ponies.
Exactly. I think it's so fun to watch Regina's outfits in particular. Because I don't quote me on this, but there was an article I was reading where Lana Parrilla talked about how she really did work with costuming. Or actually, I think you were the one telling me about it.
I don't remember, but I know it.
Yeah, how like
somebody told someone
she worked really closely to try to like show through her attire how like deranged Regina was in that moment.
Which Yeah.
That's how every piece should be telling the story. Like, that's how it should be done. I don't know what what story that's telling.
Something died on my head. Please get it off.
Terrible story.
It's not a good story. Nobody said it had to be a good story.
But it's a story.
It is a story.
And I think the interesting thing is, so for Emma, the obvious iconic look is the red jacket, but it's not my favorite look for her. My favorite look for her is a look we will never see again. It's her first scene.
She is so cool in that first scene.
So cool, and she never is that cool or like sure of herself and confident again.
No, it's like Storybrooke is bad for her.
It is, and she should leave. She has confidence.
Run, Emma.
She has I don't know. There's something about her, it's the curls. I have a whole theory on this. I'll get into it in another episode. Her curls are where her personality exists.
I think you're probably right. Also, I do have I'm percolating a theory on Storybrooke being bad because I can think of one other time where she does seem to be kind of put together.
Season 3, episode 1, when she lives in What's Its Fuck It, and she's fucking a monkey?
Listen, she doesn't know she's fucking a monkey. So.
We're still calling that moment a moment where she's headstrong and badass when she's screwing a monkey?
She's clearly happier than she ever is in Storybrooke. Ooh.
And actually
And she punches Hawk in the face.
She does. That's great. I love that moment for her. Also, Henry is less annoying in that episode, too. Yeah. He's playing video games, being a normal child, I guess.
Yeah, so maybe Storybrooke is just a bad place to be.
It is. It's the bad place. Oh my god.
It's the bad.
Wow. Amazing.
Headcanon accepted.
Exactly. No. So you were mentioning Archie earlier. I feel like there's more here for you.
Okay.
First of all, I do need to be angry because he is Dr. Hopper. Mm-hmm. He's Jiminy Cricket.
Right?
What? Why not Dr. Cricket? I don't know. Or Dr. Jiminy. Or what? I don't know. Where is this Dr. Hopper shit coming from?
I mean, I think it's because he looks like a grasshopper.
No, but he's a cricket.
I know, but he looks like a grasshopper.
I don't like that.
Now, I feel like that was one of the instances where Regina just was like,
it's funny because it's funny. Wrong. I think that was what she enjoyed most about this curse, is sitting there being like, okay, your job will be this, and your name will be that.
That's fair. We've got Ruby for red. Mm-hmm. Granny just stays Granny. I think she got to the end of the list and was just like, I don't care. This is too much work. Wanda would understand from the WandaVision.
I was watching I guess technically it was a video essay of someone saying how, I've already made this comparison, but how WandaVision and Once are just the same concept. And
I mean, they
really are.
They kind of definitely are.
Wanda did it.
WandaVision, Once Upon a Time,
has some
crawled.
Shortcomings.
Once Upon a Time crawled, so WandaVision could fly.
The whole premise is, spoilers, I guess, for WandaVision. She watched a lot of sitcoms and shows growing up. I'm not convinced that there wasn't an alternate universe, multiverse, why not, where Once Upon a Time already existed and she saw it and was like, interesting idea, and kept that in the back of her brain for trauma one day.
Fair. It's totally fair. I mean, by the time the hex occurs, Once Upon a Time would have occurred.
That is true. That's true. I hate that. But Archie. Archibald.
If we must, we must.
And we must.
Must we?
We decided to do this, so I think we have to. This was we're doing this to ourselves.
But he makes me so mad.
But later he makes you happy. So, he's better later.
So, Archibald Cricket. He's a therapist, correct?
Uh-huh.
Correct. He's a therapist. One of the things that therapists aren't supposed to do is reveal to strangers that, they're treating you.
What? No.
So, number one, our very first little jaunt with Archie, and he's breaking the rules. How very Jiminy of him. And then this strange woman appears with your patient, minorly question, and then is like, oh yeah, he lives at this address, and isn't like, what are you doing with this child?
No questions, no thoughts, head empty.
It's so ridiculous the number of things he does that are just like so wildly unethical.
It's not great.
And this is coming from the conscious.
Yeah.
He's the conscience. He's literally supposed to be a conscience.
He's not a very good one.
And you know what? That is true to the source material if we're going off of that Disney film.
Exactly.
So I will say more about Archibald Eugenia Hopper.
I like his full name is beautiful.
It won't be the same next week. But yeah, it's almost like he got his PhD from a curse or something.
Weird.
Oh, funny how that works.
While you're good and angry, how do you feel about this classroom that Mary Margaret's running?
Why is there a bird in it? What are you teaching? What is her job?
Well, you see, she and Miss Frizzle got together and said, okay, Frizzle, you can only teach science, and I'm only going to teach birdhouses.
I will only teach birdhouses. There seems to be so many different aged kids in the room, which is fine, except then that does seem to imply that this is more of a middle school situation, which Henry is kind of old enough to possibly be getting into like a cored out classroom where like one teacher will teach certain subjects to all the students and another teacher will teach the others. But it's that's confusing to me because we do seem to agree that Mary Margaret is the only teacher.
Yeah. And there's like some 4-year-olds in that class.
Teacher.
I swear, there's like some tiny kiddos in that class.
We just weren't paying attention to the extras. We just wanted the children.
It reminds me of, I only know this because Twilight is now on Netflix, so I have no life. But in the volleyball scene, there's just straight up like a small child running through the background. Because why not? I feel like that's what we have here. It's just like, oh, kid to work days next week, but yeah, sure, we'll find a spot for them.
Yeah, so there's a lot you can do with birdhouses. Absolutely. Sure. But she seems to be giving a lecture on why birds are good and should be free. It's a metaphor.
Birds are good. Right? I think this is something you're going to want to write down.
You know what?
This is important.
Snow, unlike my mother, believes in birds.
Mama Poppins is my hero. I call Lo's mom Mama Poppins.
It's a long story.
Yeah, it has stuck forever now, and that will just be what she's known as until I die.
Oh, absolutely. And she's a character in and of herself. And one day we were sitting at the beach, and she doesn't particularly care for birds. They kind of scare her, but she just looks up, and there's a seagull flying overhead. She shoos it, which it wasn't bothering us, but she had to shoo it away. Sure. And I looked at her and was like, what's going on? What's happening here? And she looks at me. She looks at me dead in the eyes. She just goes, I don't believe in birds. And I don't know what it means. I'm still confused. Several years later.
I mean, there's some conviction to that. Like, I am afraid for the birds. Like, are they going to stop existing because of her sheer dislike?
It's possible. I don't put anything past her.
Well, I mean, according to Henry, believing something's what makes it true. So not believing in something makes it not true. Damn.
Right. So.
Well, all right.
Yeah. All right.
Fair enough, Mama Poppins.
Wow. Indeed. Before we close, I just would really like to take a moment and marinate in Charming and his brilliant move of yelling, "Hey!"
I was going to say what more? I don't know where this is going.
His brilliant move of yelling, "Hey!" before just chucking a sword.
I love Charming a lot. He is one of my favorite characters because of the stuff he does, such as that. Just I will not be thinking this through. No, I will not be taking questions. I already did the thing.
You know, it's fair. He'd do well at driving in LA.
He would.
Where you kind of just have to make decisions and allow everyone to live with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. He's a special muffin.
He is. I do love him.
So, yeah.
What a this is a tame episode, and it's still bonkers.
Truly bonkers.
Oh man! All right. So what have we been?
Alright.
What has revealed itself to us? Family tree. What do we get? What do we got?
So we know now. I feel very much like one of those Bible verses
Yes.
that just go through
This
the
is the yes.
lineage.
This is like the Genesis after the whole creation stuff.
We know that Snow and Charming beget Emma,
Oh no!
and an unknown man beget
Oh
Henry.
no!
And Henry has been adopted by Regina,
Yes.
who we know to be the evil queen.
Sure. And we know the evil queen to
Uh,
be. I hate this already. To be.
we,
I guess
oh,
technically we have not.
do we? We don't technically
That is
know.
true. Oh god, this is gonna get so messy. Oh
Technically,
my god.
we do not know that Snow and Regina are
No.
particularly related,
Say
but
less, please.
it's not even a spoiler because it's in you know the story of Snow White, you know the evil queen is her stepmom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all we got so far.
Wow.
It will get messy.
And I feel like
It's gonna get rough.
I feel like by default right now our fuck fern isn't doing too bad either.
Well, as of right now we only have Snow and Charming.
That's not even messy. That's just like fair enough. Proceed.
Yeah, I mean that's within the bonds of matrimony
Wow.
and everything.
They're so good.
Such a family show.
That's my favorite thing about this show, really quick. It was Sunday 8 p.m. It was primetime family television.
Right, like I don't think it was ever marketed as like bring your 4-year-old.
But it was before Freeform. This was just straight up ABC 8 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, like certainly an interesting choice.
Mhm.
Anyhow, bring us up to speed on the tallies.
Yeah, so magic beans, easy enough. We got none right now. None beans.
Love that.
Haven't even heard of them yet.
What is a magic bean? I don't know her. I don't want to know her.
They make things complicated. Let's see. We have the lie list. So far, Emma is batting 50-50. She has one fail, one success. The fail, we'll start with the success, actually. We'll give her some credit. Opening scene with Henry. She goes, if you call the cops, I'll say you kidnapped me. And she's like, no, you won't. She calls him out on his bluff immediately. Then she fails at the end of the episode when she says, hey, Regina, do you love him? And Regina says yes. And Emma takes that information and goes, well, I can't leave. I don't trust her.
Yeah, it feels like by all the rules, because we know that Regina loves Henry. Whether or not that's a good, healthy love, she does love him. So technically that should not flag anything.
No. And yet here we are. She's a solid 1 for 1. Good on her. And that leads us to Dark Curses. We just have one so far. Nothing too messy. We have the Dark Curse. Simple times. It will never be this simple again.
Dark Curse 1.0.
Ugh.
Love Dark Curse 1.0.
This one was a lot, guys. I guarantee none of the other episodes are ever, like, not even as we get into, like, the penultimate episodes. And
it's so true. Like, nothing is going to happen like in this episode.
This was just an hour of exposition.
Thoughts?
Oh, final.
There's your final thought.
Can I get off the ride?
That's fair.
How about you?
That's fair.
Where is this leaving you?
I mean, I still remember watching this episode and being so invested. And there is some magic still left there of the interest of trying to figure out who was who. I mean, not so much in this episode because we're pretty spoon-fed who is everybody, as we have to be. But as we go forward, getting characters in the town and meeting these people and trying to figure out who they might have been was super fun.
It was so fun.
And, like, I mean, I will say, for an hour of just straight exposition, that was literally all we did. It was fun.
It was fun.
Like, it's a quick hour.
It goes very quickly. Absolutely.
No, I mean, it's technically not an hour, but it's, you know, it's a full 60-minute episode if you factor in where commercial breaks would have been. So I just remember loving the show, and it kind of makes me sad in a way to rewatch these first two seasons.
It's like a nostalgia that we know is going to go away. Like, it will never be good.
Yeah. Well, and I just remember how much promise was there and like how engaged we both were with the story and
So good.
what was going on. And so like it's really fun to watch because these are like fun episodes. As annoyed as I get at some of these little details, there's not a lot to like really get angry at. And then we're gonna hit Neverland.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't want to think about that. And after that, it's like, oh, okay.
It's IP and franchise.
Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong.
Oh.
Hey, we have Star Wars now.
Oy. But it does start in a good space. And actually, like if you did watch the show when it was airing, I'm curious. We'll post something on our social. Try and like remember where were you when you watched the first episode? Like what was that experience like? We'll post ours as well, but like do you remember loving it or being like not sure? What was that first episode like?
And if you didn't watch, why did you start?
Why are you here? Also, like in general, like what is this?
Who are you?
What is this? What do you want?
What do you want? All of our socials will be posted in the description on the podcast.
Yes.
As we are working on finalizing those.
Oh my god, this has been a really bad time.
This has been terrible, but I have good news.
What?
It can only go up from here.
God, this is ground zero.
I mean, the week can only go up from here. The show, absolutely not.
The show, in fact, will just go down from here. It'll peak like in certain points, like like what we mentioned earlier.
Cora, super fun.
But no, the week. That's why we're here. We want to make sure that your week is good. We start it in a bad place so that it goes up. You're welcome.
So, on that note, have a wonderful week. Hopefully,
yes.
And we will see you next week.
See you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.